This is the U.S. intelligence agency, mind control.
You know, Marjorie Taylor Greene has been talking about her motion to vacate, which I think she filed a while back. And a few weeks ago, and it's been bouncing around. It was an unprivileged motion, is my understanding.
She did it when he passed the bill to keep the government open. And that was she didn't privilege it, meaning it would have shut the government down, most likely, because that would have had to happen first. But she still did it, like, basically symbolically, and said they would take it up later.
Let's go to Fox and Friends asking Mike Johnson, what are you going to do if this happens?
Mr. Speaker, ultimately, they've got to pass the rule first, and they will, and then everybody gets to vote. But there are a number of members of your own caucus, Republicans, who have said, if you bring up the Ukraine thing, this was a week or so ago, they would vote to vacate you, kick you out of your job. Two questions. One, is that still a worry? And two, if they do vote to vacate, and you're kicked out of your job, if you were to resign from Congress, you could theoretically give the Democrats the majority in the House of Representatives.
Oh, that's funny.
Look, none of that's going to happen. I don't worry about the vacate.
Dude, imagine if he did that just to spite them. He's just fuck you.
There's a lot of interesting Mike stuff to watch. I don't know. It might have been on. I might have watched it, an independent interview where they were talking to him on something else, or like CNN or something. But he keeps on saying that, like, the way he's framing it, that they have the smallest majority ever in, like, Congress, because they're down to 1 seat majority because people keep retiring.
Yes. Yeah.
So
right,
how funny would it be if they lose the majority before the election?
That would be very funny. I kind of hope they do. That would be very funny. It's very possible too. And they would have to change speaker, right? They would have to put a Democrat.
Yep. It would be Hakeem Jeffries.
Hilarious.
Motion at all. I'm here to do my job. I don't think that's going to happen. I think
I don't know what happens if they have equals. What happens if they have equal seats? Who gets majority?
I don't know.
You know what I think what happens is, so, like, the House Speaker, it doesn't matter what party they're in, they have to be voted for, right? So the only reason they get voted for because the party has the majority, so they all pledge behind that one candidate to get the vote.
Yes.
So it would mean that that House Speaker would have to get votes from both sides to be House Speaker.
The gay flu. Yeah.
If it was equal, I think.
Interesting. I wonder if he gets pushed hard enough that maybe he would be like, you know what? Fuck you all. Vacating.
Johnson? No. Johnson is like, he's a dominionist.
He wants that power.
I mean, he just has different agendas here. He doesn't, it's like he's like, his mainstream goal is not to advocate power to the Democrats. And what we have to remember is that the Republican Party is not MTG. Them losing another speaker would be a disaster.
Politically,
like, this type of shit that they already pulled has never been done before. And if they do it again, oh my god, like,
it probably would collapse the party. Realistically, it probably would.
I mean, it's already fucked.
Yeah.
Was us being pressed to pass the Senate supplemental, again, where everything's merged together. This is what conservatives like me and all my friends, Freedom Caucus and otherwise, this is what we desire. This is what we work towards, is to have the regular process of Congress work. And that's exactly what you're going to see this week. So again, everybody gets to vote their conscience on each of these measures separately. And I think that resolves the concern. So no, I'm not worried about that at all.
So you got $60 billion for Ukraine, $14 billion for Israel, $9 billion for humanitarian assistance to Gaza, $4.8 billion for Indo-Pacific. Two phases to this question. Number one, do you see this passing or not passing by Friday, or is this going to be just the beginning of the process? And number two, have you met a Republican that doesn't
update? It happened.
Look up to Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan.
This is stuff we were supposed to hit a little while back.
Yeah.
This isn't the only one either. The other one is specifically about abortion, and it's very funny. Charlie, just specifically the clips. Yeah, specifically the clips. Charlie Kirk is so funny,
Okay.
and
Would
Sam
say about
Cedar
Ukraine
making
aid.
fun of him is funny as well.
Well, look, I'm a Reagan Republican. I'm a child of the
Cringe.
80s, and we were all raised, as you know, Brian. All of us, we understood the concept of peace through strength. That America is an exceptional nation. We have an exceptional role in the world, and the only reason that the world order has been maintained since World War II is because we're perceived as the superpower that can defend freedom. It doesn't mean we need to be the world policeman at all.
RFK is too much of a nutcase for people to vote for him.
That's the thing, though. If you've been watching Pod Save America, they did this. They had some interesting stuff on RFK specifically, right? And like basically, the philosophy of Trump is that any vote that's not for Joe Biden is a vote for Trump. That's why RFK's there.
True.
They
But
believe
Biden
that
voters
he's
aren't
going
going to vote for RFK. He's going to pull from Trump voters more than Biden.
They
surely.
believe that's not what it shows. So I don't know. I'm not an expert on this. I just trust these people. I think that Biden is still going to win. I'm not really that worried about it right now.
But it means we have an important role in the perception of a strong America.
Yes, exactly.
Is good for stability around the globe. So that's what we're going to project here. I think we'll do our duty, our responsibility.
Like the last election was lost literally in November when COVID hit.
Yes, yeah.
But one of the important things to note here is that in the amendment process to all this, our members can bring amendments to, for example, add pay for elections.
All right, I don't even want to like I just want to also say Mike Johnson was never old enough to cast a vote for Ronald Reagan. Not even close.
But Ronald
not
Reagan
even close.
would support Ukraine aid because Ronald Reagan was incredibly hawkish towards the Soviet Union, and he also was.
That's true, though.
I know.
He oversaw the funding of the Mujahideen in order to fight against the Soviet power. I mean, Ronald Reagan stood up to Israel more than Biden did, so I'm not sure that's
the road from Lebanon.
I'm not sure that's the road they want to go down.
Is that the strength thing with the election?
It's also, the cohort of the Republican Party that cares about Ronald Reagan now. I mean, it was 10 or 15 years ago they were trying to put his picture on Mount Rushmore or on the dime, and I think that.
Can you imagine? Who would they replace to put Ronald Reagan?
Well, like not. Oh no! They would add another face.
Awful.
Oh, you mean on currency though?
Yeah.
There's no reason we should mint something higher. Like, why is 100 our max? Dollar specific.
A $500 Reagan bill.
Something like
1,000 American dollar bill.
Mm-hmm. Well,
that'd be great.
There is
with Donald Trump on it.
There is
$1 million bill.
Two relatively modern presidents that people don't know about who are on currency.
What?
So there's two relatively modern presidents, like they were within our parents' lifetime, basically, right? Grandparents, parents, it's not Lincoln era. Like everyone else is like Lincoln and Grant, that era further, right? There's two people who are relatively modern who have been on currency. That's not currently active currency, to be clear, right? One of them was around for a while, and the other one just came around for just a little bit. What two relatively modern presidents do you think made it onto currency? One is really easy.
FDR?
Nope.
Eisenhower.
Yep. That's not the easy one, though. The other one is way easier.
Teddy?
Nope.
Who was World War One?
No, modern. Like post World War II.
Oh. Clinton.
Kennedy.
No? Of course.
Kennedy is on the 50 cent.
That was too
coin.
obvious. Of course.
So it's a huge coin too. It's like a really heavy, big coin.
I don't have a 50-cent American piece. That's sad. I want a 50-cent American piece.
They're huge.
I have every coin, and I have a dollar coin. I literally have a dollar American coin.
The Eisenhower coin was a dollar coin, and it was just about the moon landing.
Hilarious.
So it was like a limited run that they did one year. Do you know about the state quarters we have too?
It's so funny you mentioned that because the last quarter I got in the United States was a South Carolina quarter, which is funny because I was in South Carolina while I was there, I just thought that was very funny. I still
I don't know
fucking
why
have it.
they did that.
I don't know, but I still have it. I still have the South Carolina quarter. And the American dollar coin, which I didn't know existed, and I only got from the California train system.
What's funny is if we like put you put Reagan on like a $5,000 bill, it really symbolizes how bad his economic policies and inflation was.
Yeah. Hilarious. The other thing that I had was an American $2 bill, and dumb me left it in my wallet, got drunk and spent it. It was probably on a burrito, maybe some cookout.
Anybody brought that up today would be laughed out of the room.
Or like right on the
But
It's crazy.
Speaker Johnson's not taking it terribly seriously.
How high? What's the dollar currency your coins go to? Because like British, they go to like 5 or 2.5.
$2.
You do $2 coins.
So
yeah,
it's
I think that's what the British do too.
Yeah. So it's 5, 10, 20, 50, $2. And then it's notes. 5, 10, 20, 50, 100. We used to have $2. We used to have 1 and 2 cents. But they started costing more than 1 and 2 cents to make, so it was pointless to have them. So they stopped making them.
Idea that maybe there's going to be
honestly,
a move to
out of like our current era presidents, Obama's going to be the one who goes on money, if anything. Like first black president, it's just a default.
He was one of the worst too. That's the funny thing.
Doesn't matter.
No, I guess not. Andrew
Benjamin
Jackson
Franklin wasn't one, so
Jackson's on the 20. So
yeah, we could replace. Well, yeah, that's why I think like that they were talking about replacing with Harriet Tubman, and I'm like, that's so much cooler to do. Oh yeah, like the dollar coin. I think Sacagawea is on it. Like it's like a gold one. It's like a gold coin that they
I think the cultural figures is a better thing to put on money than fucking president.
Yeah,
but
oust him.
Maybe Sacagawea might be appropriating genocide a little. You know, it'd be like putting Crazy Horse on the $2 bill. That would be kind of insensitive. I think Sacagawea is okay though. I think that's like a, nice territory where you can whitewash what happened because you had one good interaction.
But it seems like actually that there are other people who are a little more interested in Johnson not maintaining his job.
That was like at what 7:30? I checked 7:30 Eastern that morning, and so like, and then 3 hours later.
All right, I don't care. Let's go to this one. I will be back.
Carrie Lake and Charlie Kirk, both in full retreat. What was it, 2 or 3 years ago in the Republican primary debate?
Do you want the governor precursor? Just skip to the clips.
I mean, let it play, and then we'll start skipping.
Okay. Now, granted.
So I'll play to the first clip, then skip. Yeah.
This was in 2022 when we did not have vehicles that were self-propelled, and you needed a horse and buggy to pull these. And we didn't. The internet, I think, was still dial-up, right? In 2022, Carrie Lake, it was so long ago,
I know,
said that she was in favor not of the 2022 law that was passed by Republicans in limiting abortion, but the 1864 law that was. And now, almost a full 24 months later, it's actually probably about 24 months, probably, Carrie Lake has done a full 180. Here she is.
Total ban on abortion that the Arizona Supreme Court just ruled on is out of line with where the people of this state are. The issue is less about banning abortion and more about saving babies. I agree with President Trump. This is such a personal and private issue. I chose life, but I'm not every woman. I want to make sure that every woman who finds herself pregnant has more choices so that she can make that choice that I'm
making. All right, pause a second.
So she's pro-choice. She's pro-choice. She's pro-choice.
Pull up that other video. Find that one from the other day so that we can juxtapose these. We can let her play. But the idea.
Is that fucking awesome?
They know the internet is forever, right?
Yeah, but just like
this is all because Trump said it.
Yeah,
it's so transparent. Like, how is anybody going to be fooled by this? Anybody that pays attention, right? Anybody that pays attention, if you're in Arizona and somebody's like, "Oh, Carrie Lake is pro-choice," just be like, "Shut up! Just shut up! Shh, Carrie Lake, shh, shut up! Just be quiet."
Get the dunce hat out.
This is a personal
hat out.
You need the Austin Powers scene where he's just telling shh for like 10 minutes. It doesn't get old.
Choice, 100% not the case. Also, not what Donald Trump said, even at his best. Because originally he said a 16 or 15 week ban.
Eisenhower coin Armstrong is also on it because it's about the moon.
Mm.
Also, Kennedy was part of that too, so that's
I'm like also very anti like figures and like pedestals.
I mean, we just tore down our Columbus statue here. Suck it, Italians.
I don't think that people should be on money at all. I think it should be animals or things that represent your country because that fucking makes sense.
It should be a turkey, a marvelous turkey bird.
Sure, I mean eagles, turkeys, fucking possums, skunks, whatever the fuck you want. Just not people. Because Andrew Jackson is the perfect example of no.
I don't know. I think Harriet Tubman is a good pick.
Or like in Australia, I don't know who the dude on the $100 bill is. I don't know who any of the people are on our money. Good. Keep it that way. Don't care. Make it people that you don't know nor care about. That's perfect. Why are they on money? I don't know. Stop it.
Well, it's funny because Britain,
at other times he said
whatever the king or queen is. So like this guy just had new bills that are printed and being minted, and he's like doing the Steve Jobs thing with his cancer.
Yeah, put fucking emus on the money. Who gives a shit? Cassowaries, big birds, camel, kangaroo.
Said you got to send. I mean,
wombat. Put square piles of wombat shit on your money. Perfect.
With Chris Matthews in 2016 said you got to send the woman to prison who gets an abortion. Then he said he's okay with states banning abortion. He said that. Now, this is a long time ago. Grant you, it was Monday of last week. He said, I'm okay with states banning abortion, up to the states. And now she's saying, I agree with Donald Trump. That is the choice of the women. Later, play this, and then we'll play that other thing from the debate.
So
pregnant has more choices so that she can make that choice that I made.
Your 100 note.
I'll never forget the first time I got pregnant, taking that pregnancy test, looking down, and I was excited. But I'll be honest, I was afraid as well. I was nervous. I was anxious. It's natural for women to be nervous and anxious when they're pregnant. I never would ever assume that any woman had the same exact feelings I had or situation I had. We know that some women are economically in a horrible situation. They might be in an abusive relationship. They might be the victim of rape. I agree with President Trump. We must have exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of a mother. We as American people.
So just a reminder, we have countless examples of women who have nearly died, of women who may be unable to carry a pregnancy again because doctors in these situations where there's supposed exceptions.
$100 note.
So I don't know who, like these current ones, I'm like, whatever, he was in the army or whatever, who cares? But it says here your original ones, right? The first one was like the Arctic Explorer.
Okay.
And then the other one is an astronomer. Or on the reverse is an astronomer. With the background of an observatory built by a local church. And I'm like, that's much cooler than like this guy who was like, I fought in the First World War and I'm a Shinga, who the girl is.
Did you know that I wonder if it's the same. No, it wouldn't be. No. Never mind. I'm an idiot. On that note, did you know that the images on the moon were rebounded through an Australian array to America? So technically it was Australia giving you guys the footage of the moon landing.
Epic.
Bit of
But
fun fact.
the Kurds didn't help.
No, they didn't.
Don't know what constitutes a threat to the life of the mother. Is it 30% chance they're going to die? 20%? 15? 50? 75%? There's no way to know. And of course, as you know, everybody gets a rape conviction within 16 weeks. And so there's no problem. It only takes 2 or 3 months for an investigation and a rape conviction all the time. And of course, if you're, it's even easier if it's a function of incest. I mean, that's just absurd, these exceptions.
Remember when Texas is like, oh yeah, we'll start investigating rapes now because it's important.
Oh yeah, no, Abbott, I think, said we're not going to allow rape anymore in this. All right, let's just do with the older clip because this is so much lying. Let's just make sure that we have this juxtaposition of these, of here she is. And to be fair, again, folks, this is Carrie Lake all the way in 2022, back when just we could only imagine. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
We could only imagine that people would be sometimes actually in steel.
The new law banning abortion, the new law banning abortion in Arizona after 15 weeks. There's that law, and there's a territorial era law which bans all abortion. Zippo, over. Which law do you think should take effect?
My personal belief is that all life matters, all life counts, and all life is precious, and I don't believe in abortion. I think the older law is going to go into effect. That's what I believe will happen.
Okay, but you approve of that? At conception?
I believe life begins at conception.
Okay, what do we do about abortion pills? What do we do about?
I don't think abortion pills should be legal.
Not in Arizona. Karen, what do you think?
She doesn't think abortion pills should be legal. So when she says she's pro-choice, she's pro-Republican judges having the choice.
I am okay with women wanting an abortion. I just am not okay with them getting one.
Yes.
We're all different. And for you, your pregnancy will be forced. For me, it won't. So that's okay.
You forgot to put like the soft music behind you to give you a sense of like, this is not.
I'm okay.
He leaned and put it on.
It's very
so funny because energy. Like Sam gets to the he doesn't go full like goblin mode like this very often now that Mike's gone, you know? Like Emma doesn't bring out Goblin Sam. It's a much more serious show, which I prefer to have a more serious like talk show. I think he is better at being serious, but God, Goblin Mode Sam is so funny.
I'm okay with women not agreeing with me that they want to be pregnant, but they've got to be, and they're going to carry the child. So, wow, like President Trump says, 4 different things, and we know in the end which one's going to be true.
Oh gosh, your empathy is just coming through the screen. I feel like you really understand my situation.
I totally understand. Kirk is here for it, and he's the one who's basically spotting this. He's sitting there with the net here for. Here he is reacting to Donald Trump's also sort of like backpedaling on this.
The statement is excellent. Let's start there. President Trump is talking about how the Democrats are the extremists. That is absolutely right. I am neutral on this particular social post. I'm not. I understand why he's doing it, and let me defend it. Let me think why he's doing it.
What's beautiful about this is that this is not even, incidentally, this is not for normal people. Charlie Kirk is not having to do this. Like when Carrie Lake goes on and does her
backing up.
I believe in a woman's not right to choose, but I believe that people can have a different perspective than I do, even though I ultimately will force them to carry the pregnancy. But when she does that, she's doing that for normal people. But Kirk has to do this now. Kirk has to basically, it's like, imagine a guy who's got one leg on one building and another leg on another building, and he's 30 stories in and then all of a sudden the buildings start going like this, and his legs have to start spreading, and he's like this. That's what he's doing because he's not talking to normal people. He's trying to make his lunatic fringe audience
buy the narrative,
be okay with where Trump and Carrie Lake have to be because they have to talk to normal people. So this is why he's neutral on this. He's right in the middle. He's got one leg over here and one leg over here, and he's trying to sort of walk this sort of like invisible tightrope.
It's funny to say, my daddy said they're the extremists, so never mind that we've been losing elections on this.
Exactly.
I'm not. I understand why he's doing it, and let me defend it. Let me think why he's doing it. The current abortion decision by the Supreme Court in Arizona was technically legally the right decision. It's one that I morally agree with, but it is unpopular with the people in Arizona, and Arizona is a must-win state. So President Trump is trying to float out the idea, hey, he does not want to be tied to the unpopularity of this current measure. That is why he put that out there. However, there's an email we got here from John, which is
It's like they think that they're in some country where people aren't armed and won't literally shoot you in the head if you try and fuck with their freedom. Like, I don't know what they're talking about here. Like, if you're trying to deceive people to get the vote for the state, and then you go and ban abortion, you know what's going to happen? People are going to shoot you in the head. That's what's going to happen. So please try. Please try.
They banned it. I mean, they did overturn Roe. It happened.
Yeah, but that didn't necessarily implement it everywhere. It really is only in other states that wanted to do it. They did it. That's an issue. But with Arizona, it's total. That's total. Using a law that was around before Arizona was a state, before women had the right to vote. Like, that's
before women were acknowledged as human beings.
Yeah, pretty much. So, like, this is what they're going on. I think if there's any reason to actually go and do something like that, it's that. That's the government literally spitting in your face, telling you that you have no power. It's the time that you tell them, yes, you do. So, try it, please. I bet you there's some people who just want you to try it. They're just waiting for it. There's some people. There will be. But these people, and it's obvious that these people who position themselves as these, the vanguard, the people who are out on the street doing it, now they're doing all these. Is this the same network as Bongino? It is,
I'm not
isn't
sure.
it? I think it is.
know.
I think it is. Anyway, that level of show where you're just talking to psychos online who nobody wants around them. That's what you've been reduced to. I just find this very funny.
I'm not voting for Trump anymore. What is the point if Trump compromises on abortion, even if he has a better chance of winning? Why not offer everyone free school, healthcare, UBI? That would help him win an election, right?
Why not?
So basically, what you think, whatever it takes to win, compromise when you can't govern.
Sam
Trump
goes, yeah. Sam goes, yeah. Can you imagine if Trump did that though? Because like you have to I was thinking about this. Like his radical fan base is radical enough that they'll vote for him no matter what, right? And then he was like, if he just was like, we're gonna do UBI, we're gonna go, and just started doing these like Bernie policies also. And then like because PSL would fold instantly and start voting for Trump. They can't wait to vote for a Republican.
Yes. Yeah, that absolutely would.
And the pro-life cause who doesn't deserve my vote. I have never said you should do whatever it takes to win. I've never said that. I've never alluded to that. However, you want to try to have the most morally clear position that can fit within the popular will of the people so you can get political power. There are positions that we hold that are unfortunately untenable with the American people. So you try to find one that is the best version of that, and then you try to find how can you make it fit with the American people.
Pause it. Now, let's just be clear here. These guys have been claiming this is murder. They've been claiming that, like, literally, like, Democrats are killing babies outside the womb.
Executing them.
And now I agree. There are times where you have to sort of like subject yourself to political realities. But they're talking about putting UBI, putting free healthcare, doing all these things are materially beneficial to the vast majority of people. In fact, those are broadly popular. The problem is the Republican Party is having to face the fact that, like, on this issue, they can obscure the other issues, right? Because they can talk about, like, well, we've got a special plan that's better than Obamacare. We got a special plan that's better than Medicare for all. They never roll it out. It never exists. And they can say, like, oh, we want prosperity for everybody. It's just that the way that we're doing it just happens to be, we're going to get prosperity, guarantee it for the top of top, and it's going to trickle down. There's always like a story that they're going to get there. But in this instance, because like people are feeling the impact of their policy, right? Like, had they rolled back Obamacare and millions of people had lost Medicaid, and we were back into the situation where, you had rescission and you had annual limits on what, there'd be a big blowback. It wouldn't be quite big as this, I think, because of the dynamics of healthcare, but there would have been a big blowback. And a blowback that would have been big enough maybe to have actually maybe gotten us further along closer to a sort of a Medicare for all type of situation. But now they're faced with their whole prescription for American society has now actually like gotten a step too close to being realized. And they realize like, oh shit, how are we, you know how we've been saying abortion is
that demographic. That's what they're concerned about.
I mean, that's the same dynamic that we talked about for a long time. You get 75% people who want to restrict gun rights,
right?
But that's not what they're voting on.
Yep.
That's what you ask them. And how, is that going to get them to the polls? Is that going to be the overriding issue? This is the closest to a single issue voter that we have to the right of to the left of Republicans. They have a couple of single issue and those issues will switch, from time to time because they're not untethered. But so here's Kirk trying to explain to this guy and really to his audience, you know how we've been saying abortion is literally life or death, and how we've been saying that this is murder and you would have to sanction murder. Well, Arizona's a swing state, so go ahead.
Political power. There are positions that we hold that are unfortunately untenable with the American people. So you try to find one that is the best version of that, and then you try to find how can you make it fit with the American people. That is the whole idea of the will of the people and the sovereign. And sometimes the people, they don't want correct.
Maybe you don't just manufacture a belief in people like the closest you can. Like maybe you just ask the people and like have elections and stuff like that.
This is just so it's amazing the gymnastics that has to be done here. It is amazing.
To find one that is the best version of that, and then you try to find how can you make it fit with the American people. That is the whole idea of the will of the people and the sovereign. And sometimes the people, they don't want the morally correct and clear position. So do you completely betray, or do your deeply held beliefs that are rooted in scripture and rooted in truth? Of course not.
Cringe.
So no, Trump is not pro-choice. And I think it's kind of laughable if somebody were to say that.
I gave that chinchilla
keep going. This is fascinating.
This big.
They like big stick?
Well, it's the biggest sticks they've ever seen.
Is that it?
And you should let go of those beliefs. If you're listening and you're like having any kind of cognitive dissonance about this, abandon your belief that you should have the state control women in their pregnancies.
What it also does, I mean, what's fascinating about it is it sort of like returns him to the starting position of like, we are part of a smaller group that has a higher sense of morality, that knows better than the rest of the people. We've attempted to force at least small populations. It's okay to ban it in Alabama. It's okay to ban it in in Mississippi. But when you come to a swing state, you may not want to do that. Their morality is state-based. The supremacy of their morality is state-based, as you can see. I mean,
they respect states' rights.
It's fascinating.
So much so that their morality changes border to border.
We have about 90 seconds of Ben Shapiro on kind of the same beat. If we want to take Emma, I'm curious how you as a woman feel.
Oh, good. I get to put on my female representative hat here.
He makes a pretty strong argument here you might not have considered.
Okay, so the Arizona legislature, at this point, the governor, as you know, is not, in fact, Carrie Lake. The governor is Katie Hobbs. Carrie Lake lost to her, despite all of the rumors to the contrary. She lost to the leftist rag, who is Katie Hobbs. Katie Hobbs is a Democrat. Here's Katie Hobbs lamenting the decision.
It is a dark day in Arizona. Just now, the Arizona Supreme Court issued its opinion in Planned Parenthood v. Mays, upholding one of the most extreme abortion bans in the country. The Republican majority in the legislature has time and again refused to act to protect our freedoms. They have refused to repeal the extreme civil war, near total abortion ban. In fact, the Senate President and House Speaker fought in this very case to keep this extreme ban in place. And as it stands, they might have their way. They have refused to act to protect IVF and...
Imagine being the piece of shit who argued in favor of this ban.
Yep.
You should actually probably just find the tallest building.
Contraception. Instead, they...
Really, like you are a waste of humanity. You are a waste of space.
Tell women to put aspirin between their knees.
No one says that.
Well,
I got news for you. Google Foster Freeze, who was one of the biggest, I think actually for Charlie Kirk, maybe. Right. Foster Freeze, in fact, did say that publicly. He was one of the early Republican billionaires who has funded all of these people's careers.
I thought it was Todd Aiken, but he's the one who said God has a way of aborting it if there's a rape.
He was the one who didn't believe in actual rape. legitimate rape. Sorry, but Foster Freeze is the one who said put in aspirin, and also I have to say my high school girlfriend's dad also used to say that back in the day. That was a big Catholic thing. But go ahead.
They tell women to put aspirin between their knees.
No one says that.
Well, I'm proud to be a backstop to their
Plaza,
extremism.
just let me also be clear. That was the joke. You want contraception? Take an aspirin. Hold it in between your knees. That's the way you don't become pregnant.
Right. Basically, don't put out.
Yes. Keep your legs closed.
Between their knees.
No one says that.
Well, I'm proud to be a backstop to their extremism. Arizona women should never have to fear the next court decision.
Yeah, first of all, you shouldn't have to fear a court decision because you shouldn't go get an abortion. Just as a moral matter, you should not pursue abortion and believe that the court is the imposition to you. Because abortion is immoral and wrong and sinful. Okay, but put all of that aside. The politics here are very.
So there we go. I mean, I appreciate the clarity of that, right? Which is essentially just admitting that this is about controlling what women want to do.
Well, I get to decide what is sinful for you, and for you women, it is sinful. It was sinful for you to have sex in the first place.
Yes. Yeah.
So
and
consider yourself lucky you haven't been struck by lightning already.
So if, say, somebody is having some sort of issue with their fetus, it's affecting their uterus, it's affecting their healthcare, what is his solution? Essentially, just suffer in silence. And if you die, that's okay, because that's God's will. And he is punishing you.
As a woman, it is sinful for you to even raise such questions. Allow the men to get together and decide for you. And actually, just the Christian ones. I mean, but also the fundamentalist Jew ones. Let's just let the fundamentalists handle this. I'm part of the gang, right, guys?
Yeah. Man.
Is there more to this?
No, that's it.
Oh gosh. Well, there it is. I mean, they're all struggling with this. How are they going to sort of like walk this tightrope between allow the politicians to lie? And now look, this is, and I think it seems like more of a stretch for us to watch these right wingers say, let Donald Trump lie about this because he needs to win Arizona. He needs to win Wisconsin. He needs to win Pennsylvania, whatever it is. Because I think a lot of these fundamentalists in the first place, this concept, they're okay with it.
Now, so this video I'm sending you, it's a long one, but we only want to introduce the premise with it and then see Fox News' terrible take. Okay? So to finish, what I want to finish on is this Ilhan Omar's daughter, right? But I sent you a funny clip that's 4 minutes long, and then did we look at this? What Russian media is saying about MPG?
No, I saw that, but I want to do this Rob Schneider one first because
we can do that one too. Yeah.
I'll do that one first, and then I'll go.
So we'll finish with the Fox News and Ilhan Omar's daughter and see how they frame it because it'll be atrocious.
Yes.
Zapata is so close to losing his. BC just lost his stick. Oh my god. Zapata is like 2 seconds of his dropping outside the bar.
They both lost their sticks?
Well, because they're like working to the other end, but they're close to the cage, so they're sticking it out of the cage, and BC dropped his. And Zapata's is barely hanging on.
Let me just tell you this story because it's really disturbing. The comedy, it really just doesn't have an opportunity anymore to exist. We are killing comedy, ladies and gentlemen. Rob Schneider, who I'm sure if any of you are my age are aware of. Outside of that, I don't know. Has he been in? He never had recently. Like the sort of durable film career that like a David Spade or even a Chris Farley had.
I remember I brought him up.
Are there Rob Schneider movies out there?
Yeah, it was something about an Adam Sandler guy. I can't remember.
No, that was who I was talking about. It was Rob Schneider. But I think I might have been a joke that he came and was doing something or.
It was something like that.
And I'm not trying to insult him by saying this. It's probably Deuce Bigelow is the biggest Rob Schneider of the future.
Yeah, I mean, look, the guy certainly made a ton of money in comedy. It was certainly very successful.
Is a stapler.
He's just the guy that does racist characters in Adam Sandler movies at this point.
Yeah, like the one where he is like the delivery guy in Big Daddy.
Yeah, Big Daddy.
Hip Hop Anonymous. You all the easy ones. Fish.
Sometimes the way
it's
hip hop.
No, I'm talking about like the specific like one-off isolated ones that he always does.
Oh, I know.
They're the worst ones.
That you revive a career.
I gotcha. He's the one who came up with the characters to insert. Into
I bet you he is.
too.
Yeah.
becoming a conservative comedian. We saw that Dennis Miller revived his career for like 20 years. There's a lot of people who do it. Well, Rogan in many respects, but there are others.
Not really.
And that's what Rob Schneider did. He, according to Politico Playbook, he delivered a comedy set in front of the Republican Senate Working Group at the Waldorf Astoria. Would that have been in New York or in D.C.? I don't know where that is. And apparently, Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith, Republican from Mississippi, walked out during Schneider's performance. The show was supposed to last at least a half an hour. But SWG, the Senate Working Group Executive Director James Gimme, stopped it within 10 minutes after the comedian made, quote, raunchy and inappropriate jokes.
Oh, my God.
People present are familiar with the performance, including some aimed at Asian people. Listen, when the Republicans say that you've got a...
So I'm going to guess that he did the gibberish Asian accent joke.
I'm going to assume the same thing.
Like he did an Asian accent and did things like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is like
a problem with
like Breakfast at Tiffany's was like, you know, they barely made it at that time. It was like
Indiana Jones.
That kid just wanted a fucking Oscar. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, the kid. No, I know, but you think that they didn't do that on purpose in the actual movie?
First of all, the Indian tribe who eats people, way more racist than the little kid. They eat monkey brains at one point, way more racist, bro.
With inappropriate comedy, you know you've got a problem.
You're gonna compare that little kid to fucking
Schneider's
Breakfast at Tiffany's?
I have never seen Breakfast at Tiffany's.
There's
Why? How bad is it?
Bro, it is the like jazz singer equivalent of Yellowface.
Are we talking like big thick Coke bottle glasses and buck teeth shit?
It's Mickey Rooney, a white guy.
Oh.
And he plays the landlord. Okay.
Oh my. Oh my. Oh my God. Oh no. The suspense.
Okay.
Do it quicker.
No, well, I'm trying to get it timed perfectly because I can only play a little bit because of copyright, you know?
Oh my God.
2 weeks ago. You cannot go on or keep ringing my bell.
Oh my God.
Questions?
Oh my God.
I think there's plenty of Family Guy jokes about this too.
When was this made?
Oh, this is a fucking old movie.
80s? Something like that. I imagine.
Set was gross and vulgar, Hyde-Smith spokesperson said. She didn't have to listen to it, so she
I
got
haven't
up
seen
and
it
left.
either. I have no interest in watching this movie.
Apparently, there were 150 attendees, more than 40 Senate chiefs of staff. Received an apology.
1961.
60s.
Hmm.
Okay.
And that's what I'm. Truman Capote wrote it.
Okay, well, 60s, it makes a bit more sense. That really hasn't aged well.
Yeah, but like that's what I'm saying is they made it just in time. Like it was like it was like
probably like the next year or so it would have become bad.
Like
not
that's
a thing.
But like that it would still, but the thing is that it's played as a comedy because there's other like yellow-faced characters that are in comedies that have been funny. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I'm sure like Scary Movie, those types of movies that are like lowbrow have done it. This is like an elite, like Audrey Hepburn, like Truman Capote written movie, you know?
There are definitely like those sort of stereotypical side Asian characters that are, they're kind of, if done properly and not taken too seriously,
Hot take,
and sort of aware of
Robin
itself.
Williams could have race swapped anytime and people would have accepted it.
Well, he gender swapped, didn't he?
I know, but just imagine Robin Williams. He's like, this movie, I'm going to be a black guy. Imagine Robin Williams trying to be a black guy. But it's like the same eccentricity as Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mrs.
I
Doubtfire,
stand
but
by. Nobody would have an issue with it. They would all let it go because it would be so good.
It would.
Hey, bro, you know what? I forgot.
I think you have a point.
I forgot Robin Williams did do this.
What?
Yeah. Let me show you.
I'm so excited. What is happening? I mean, Robert Downey Jr. did it.
Yeah, but
and it was the way that it was written.
He's like an actual actor, you know? Robin
Yeah,
Williams
but
is
that's
like a comedian.
No, I know, but like acting, that's what acting should be, right? The movie was written so it's a dude, he's playing a guy who's in blackface, and everybody
I'm the dude
hates
playing
that
the
he's
dude
in it.
disguised as another dude.
And I just
Okay.
think that's such a funny way to write it into a movie and have everybody fucking hate him. It's great. No, it doesn't count.
Uh-huh. I knew you'd say that. Okay. You sure about that? Well, what about this? Ha. Genie's black.
Just because they cast Will Smith
Genie's
doesn't
black.
make
Will
the
Smith
genie
played him.
black.
Genie's black.
No. No.
Email the next day. While we do our best to ensure every aspect of our program is professional, courteous, and appropriate,
Genie does do
we
like
sincerely
a
regret that
hip-hop
the
guy at one point he becomes a hip hop guy. He's like,
He's a fucking genie.
Yeah, but that
He can
counts.
become whatever the fuck he wants.
Blackface.
He became an elephant.
Uh-huh. But I'm just saying, that's the closest we got to blackface. Blackface Robin Williams.
entertainment last night's program fell short.
Or was Will Smith appropriating white culture?
First of all, okay, I guess by the U.S. Census, it's white culture.
What, Disney?
No, Aladdin.
Because
it's Arabian Nights.
Well, yeah, technically. A Middle Eastern is white. The question comes up again.
Of that
I guess
goal.
I bet by the U.S. Census, we can say it.
Supposedly, Schneider agreed to keep his set relatively clean. This is clearly an interesting, situation where I have no doubt. And in fact, Schneider shot back. He goes, "I'm not changing my material or apologizing for my jokes to anybody," Schneider said in a statement to TMZ when asked about the report. "Enough with this woke bullshit. America's sick of it. I did 50 minutes because that's what I was paid to do. Nobody removed me from stage. Somebody waved to me at the 50-minute mark." And I mean, here's the thing. I don't know if he was pulled off after 10 minutes. Clearly, the email went out. They had to apologize for it. Schneider told TMZ that many of these jokes that were supposedly offended were included in his 2020 Netflix special. I have no doubt that these Republican staffers, so desperate to feel like the American public and culture is on their side, see Schneider going around on his interview with Glenn Beck or whomever it is, and they're like, he's our guy. And then he comes in and he tells jokes that are,
touching a breast, and it's like a bag of sand.
Not just dirty. I imagine they're dirty, but also just sort of offensive. And people are like, "Ooh, gross."
Feels like a titty.
and he's not that funny.
We like it when you complain about not being able to do jokes in front of liberals, not when you actually do the jokes
in front of us. And so there, you know, that's what happens. There's no doubt in my mind that they didn't realize who they were booking, but they're so desperate. And of course, it works for him. He got paid $50,000, according to him, for that gig. Not bad. Apparently, Jim Brewer was not available.
What about Roseanne?
Yeah, that'd be funny. Bit of rivalry there.
Let's go to the short. Well, this one's fine too, but I do want to look at that short one.
Are you aware of a CIA psychological profile about you, sir? Would you be interested in hearing what the CIA had to say? This secret study portrays as a brilliant but dangerous megalomaniac who is likely to pursue his own aims in disregard of U.S. interests. He's an uncertain ally. Shall I go on, or would you prefer that I stop, sir?